hair loss. You know it sucks. So why not join the boys to bitch about it? Call in now to speak with Spencer and Specs. 0203-3724-683. This is The Bald Truth UK.
It's one of the biggest deterrents for having surgery, I have to say. You know, I interact with a number of patients, as I'm sure Spence has as well, who've decided on the surgeon that they want to go with. They know exactly what they want to have. They're very well informed. They're very educated on the topic, but they can't get more than 10 days out of their professional workplace. And I get that. You know, I understand that. So it's a real kind of hindrance, and they can't move forward and have the surgery, and they have to look at other options of accruing holiday time and then being ill, and there's various different scenarios you can get yourself in.
What about these guys? What about these guys? I don't mean to cut you off. Who want to hide it from their wives or from their girlfriends, and they actually write, and they're like, "How can I? How can I do?" You see this on the forum, and then
I know patients that have done that. I know patients that have hid it from their wives. I mean, that takes.
Dude, I knew a guy that wore a hairpiece for 20 years. 20 years, and
tell his wife.
At least he thinks that his wife didn't know.
Oh my God!
And then he ended up getting a hair transplant, and he finally told this person after 20 years, and she didn't let him know that she knew. But how can you not know after 20 years? You can't touch your husband's hair. He never wants to be in a pool. He's in the bathroom for 17 hours a day. Getting
Sounds
ready.
Like you, Spen. Is it you?
Actually, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, I would probably do something like that if I wasn't in
your friend.
Yeah, if I wasn't in this business, I would probably somehow try to hide the fact that I paint my head. Yeah. Emotionally, it's kind of a weird thing when I tell people that I paint my head, especially a woman. They look at you like you're out of your fucking mind. You what? You know? And then I have to go into the whole...
They make up their faces, you know, and they can put all sorts on their bodies, you know.
Oh, that's what I tell them. I'm like, yeah, you know, so basically you walk out of the house in a disguise. You know, your entire face is painted. Your hair is dyed. You got a fake tan. You got paint on your nails. You're wearing high heels and all this shit. I put a little paint on the back of my head to cover my bald spot, and there's something wrong with me.
I'm the weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm the weirdo.
Yeah.
Go figure. Oh, I know. But anyway, sorry to James. Obviously, going back on track to your questions, and obviously not to put the fear of God in you with regards to the surgery, but you've also got to be well aware of the implications and the timelines that are involved with surgery. And it's important that you're educated in all these different areas so that you haven't got any surprises when you go and have the surgery.
Well, but there's a guy on the forum that that posts on a regular basis now, and I think he went to Bosley, and he was a younger guy than you. He's 32. And he only wanted to go in to restore his hairline, but he said basically he had a full head of hair. He was sold the surgery. He wasn't informed about the possibility of shock loss, and he was one of those guys that went into kind of this incredible telogen effluvium that lasted for a very long time. And, you know, then he started to get on medication and stuff, and who knows if the medication exacerbated it or whatever. And now he's in a position where he wishes he never did the surgery. So it's really about being fully informed and understanding what's going on. Now, here's the good news. You're on finasteride already. You're on Propecia already. So you've taken that step. You're a good responder. So that is it's a huge plus when you're going into for surgery. And you also understand the possibility of shock loss. In your case, and nobody has a crystal ball, and I preface this, we both have to preface this by saying we're not physicians, but in your case, if your hair loss does warrant that you are a candidate for surgery, then you have the best case scenario as far as you're already treating it medically, you understand what's going on, you're willing to shave down. So if you do suffer any type of shock loss, it's probably going to be minimal at best. And if you shave down, you're not even going to notice it. So that's just the way that it is.
I really appreciate your honesty, by the way. That definitely is why I was calling up, because I felt like looking on the forum and so on, sometimes it's not clear. Some guys have different results, and it's just like, I'm definitely confused. And
well, let me tell you this.
so I really appreciate your honesty.
I own the most trafficked forum related to hair transplantation in the world. And my advice to people is stay the fuck off the forums. Okay, the traffic is great. Thank you guys for coming and giving us so much traffic. But if you spend too much time on the forums, you're going to lose your mind. You have to, I believe, you can get some information, learn about the surgeries, see, results that are being posted by physicians. But the bottom line is you have to do your own research. You have to do your due diligence. You have to meet with patients, speak with patients. Try to find people who are who've had similar situations as you, as far as your scalp color, your hair caliber, your hair color, and the type of hair loss that you have. And I know that sounds like a daunting task, but it's possible. And most really ethical physicians will have a laundry list, a whole list of patients that you can speak with or even meet with. So, I think before you take that plunge, you should take the time to consider that.
That's very good advice as well, and I think I will do that. Actually, I will take the time out to do that.
Now you said
my
another
last question.
Yeah.
No, my last question, in fact, is how long is it before you see results? I mean, that's another thing that, again, I think I'm going to take your advice and just stay off the forum for a while. But being on the forum, I'm confused. It feels like I don't know if it's months or like with some guys, it's like feels like it's weeks. I'm confused.
Well, I mean, I'm going to let Specs answer the question for you because he's been through it, 15 times.
Yeah, I can understand why you're possibly getting a little confused there. However, there's pretty set guidelines with regards to the timeline period with growth times. So, realistically speaking, like if you were to have surgery today, okay, there won't be any growth. There'll be a shedding phase initially where you lose the grafts that have been newly implanted, and they tend to shed within the first 10 days to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Some may linger. Then everything goes into a rest phase for approximately 3 to 4 months, very similar to shock loss. The rest phase is going to be that kind of timeline. So you're not going to see any benefits from the surgery for a minimum of 3 to 4 months. And that's when it all starts for average Joe. Okay, it could be in some patients they may grow at 2 months, and some patients it may take for 5, 6 months for it to really start. But then what we tend to really say at 6 months, you're about 50% grown out of the final result. Kind of at 8 months, you're 70 to 80%. And then at 12 months, you're really getting towards the kind of final result. But even after 12 months, it can take up to 18 months for everything to come through, for everything to cycle, for everything to mature, and for everything to soften as well. So there's a real long timeline here with regards to from the time that you have the surgery to the actual end result. And throughout that period, there's going to be some ups and downs, and you're going to question things. You're going to be scrutinizing in the mirror, God knows how many times, looking at it, assessing it in different lights, et cetera, et cetera. But it is confusing, but that is the general timeline. To summarize that into one brief sentence, it starts at 3 months and it finishes around 12 to 18 months. Okay.
Okay, that definitely helps. I think that's where my confusion came. I didn't know if it was like years or months. And it seems like, so basically you can start seeing something in months, but ultimately the process is going to take a good year and a half.
Yeah, a year, and then it's all gravy after that. You really will see, and I saw it definitely with a number of my procedures, especially the larger procedures. You tend to see the difference is you get the growth through. It's all great, and then lo and behold, it just seemed to bloom a little bit after a year and thicken up ever so slightly as well. So that is the beauty of it as well. And remember this as well, especially a lot of people people don't like or want anybody to know that they've had this procedure done. And it sounds like your procedure is a relatively small procedure. Without seeing your pictures, it's difficult to say. But the beauty of having this done, if you can get through the first few weeks, call it a month, so that you can get back to the same position you were in pre-op, so nobody knows you've had the surgery. The beauty is it comes in so gradually and so slowly that nobody's really going to know that you've had anything done. It's not like you wake up the next day and you're fully grown out and there's a big transformation. So people that you're interacting with on a daily basis don't really see the transformation. It's people that you haven't seen for a few years that go, God, have you done something different? Have you lost weight? Have you had Botox? What have you done? So there are benefits to the process and the timeline that it takes. So see that as a positive as well.